Would you swap houses with a stranger? Find out what characters Sage and Allie do in this great book, The House Swap by Yvette Clark. First Chapter Friday Read Aloud video with The Word Nerd. Hey, my name's Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and another First Chapter Friday video. This week I'm going to be reading to you from House Swap by Yvette Clark. Now, have you ever seen that old movie Parent Trap with Haley Mills, or maybe you've seen the newer one that still probably feels old to you, came out when I was a kid, with Lindsay Lohan, called Parent Trap? Yeah, this book is a lot like that, but except for instead of swapping parents, they swap houses. Let me read you the inside cover. It's where you find the blurb on a hardcover, so you know a little bit more about what this story is going to be about. Allie and Sage would not be friends even if they didn't live 5,000 miles apart. Allie is a middle child living in a sleepy English village who dreams of being a spy. Sage is an only child from Los Angeles and is more interested in her crystal collection than cracking codes. Though they have nothing in common, their worlds collide when their parents agree to a house swap. Allie's family will spend their vacation at Sage's house in sunny California, while Sage and her mom will stay at Allie's cottage in England. When the girls meet, it doesn't take super spy skills to see that Sage is worried about the tension between her parents. Determined to fix things, the girls hatch a complicated plan. But while Allie is pulling the strings in Sage's family, she's struggling to feel heard in her own, with her obnoxious older brother and annoying younger sister taking up all of her parents' time. It just may take a trip halfway around the world for Sage and Allie to find their place at home. I loved this story, and part of it is that the author, Yvette, does such a good job of putting you inside these characters' heads. You can really feel what they're going through, and you can empathize for them, and maybe if you've been in either one of their positions, it will help you feel like you're not you're not alone. Other people have these situations and these feelings too, which is it's one of my favorite things about reading books is to see that I'm not the only one who thinks that or feels that. One interesting side note before I read you chapter 1 is that there's a teeny tiny bio about the author Yvette Clark in the back, and it says, Yvette Clark is a Brit by birth and a New Yorker by design. She lives in Manhattan with her husband, 2 children, and a blue cat named Bo. You can visit her on her website, and I'll make sure that I link that below. But I think it's super interesting that Yvette has experience living in both of these places, United States and England, and she brings that to the story. So it's super fun. I know you guys are going to love it. The last thing I'll tell you about this story, I'm giggling, my pages are all wonky because my son put his wet swimsuits in my beach bag, and it damaged my book, but it still works. It's still good. The last thing I'm going to tell you before I start reading is that each chapter is told from the perspective of one of the girls, either Allie or Sage, and it goes back and forth. And Allie's chapters always have a quote from her diary, and Sage's chapters always start with a quote from this crystal book that she really loves. So it's kind of fun to learn a little bit about the characters through those opening lines. So chapter 1 says, Allie is at Kringle Cottage, Oxfordshire, England. And the quote from her diary says, I knew it! Middle child syndrome is officially a thing. I sent my parents an article about it that I found on Good Parents Make Great Kids website. They haven't read it. The fingerprint in the talcum powder I sprinkled on the handle of my desk drawer this morning proves it. Someone has been going through my stuff. I read about the talcum powder technique in a book called Think Like a Spy that I found in the school library. Ms. Leonard said I could keep it for the summer even though I already had the maximum number of books checked out. I take a picture with my phone and zoom in on the print, but I can't tell if it's a loop or a whorl. Think Like a Spy says that there are 3 main types of fingerprint patterns, the loop, the whorl, and the arch. I have an arch print. It's the rarest kind. Only 5% of the population has it, so the arch is the worst type of print to have if you're a criminal. I don't plan on being a criminal. I want to be a spy. I doubt having arch fingerprints is a barrier to becoming a spy. My sister, Willow, has a loop print. I know that because I took her fingerprints last week. I suggested that we make a handprint painting of Chickpea, Nestle, and Nugget to decorate their henhouse. I could tell that Mom was surprised that I'd volunteered to do something with my little sister for a change. Surprised and pleased because Willow is a lot of work. Willow pressed her palm into a plate covered with white paint and pushed it down on a pale blue piece of paper to make the chicken's body. Then she painted a yellow beak at the side of her thumbprint and added a red crest at the top of the thumbprint and drew tiny eyes, legs, and feet with a black marker. She was very proud of it. The picture's not on the wall in the Chick Inn yet, because Willow's taking it around the village to show everyone, whether they want to see it or not. I'm not sure how I'm going to get my brother's prints, but I'll think of something. It'll be just my luck if Max has a loop print too. He probably does, because it's the most common type. His prints will be much bigger than Willow's though, so it still should be easy to tell them apart. I took Mom and Dad's prints too. They're both whirls. I wonder if you're more likely to marry someone who has the same fingerprint type as you. Maybe I should try to get Toby South's prints when we get back to school. How would I even do that? Imagine if he caught me trying to get his prints from his locker. I'd die. Even dogs have prints, but not on their paws though, on their noses. Bear didn't seem to mind me taking his nose print at all. I think he liked the taste of the food coloring I used to do it. He kept licking it off, so it took a long time to get a clear print. I can't decide who is the number one suspect for snooping around in my desk. Is it Max or is it Willow? They both have reasons to go through my stuff. Max to find something he could use to embarrass or blackmail me with, like my diary, as if I'd ever risk keeping my diary in our house with a brother like him. And Willow because she is a thief, which my parents don't seem concerned about for some reason. Well, she didn't actually take anything, Dad said after I caught Willow trying to crack the combination on my money lockbox. Only because she couldn't get it open. Why aren't you and Mom worried about this? Did you even read that article that I sent you? After I found the calligraphy set that I got for my birthday under Willow's pillow a few weeks earlier, I printed out an article called, Is My Child a Kleptomaniac? From the Good Parents Make Great Kids website and presented it to my mom and dad. Actually, I did read it, and it said that it's a completely normal phase for a 6-year-old, Dad said. Relax. Also, did you sign me up for some newsletters from that website? I keep getting random emails from them. I don't think it's a completely normal phase, and I hate it when people tell me to relax. Maybe I could relax if my parents paid a bit more attention to what my brother and sister get up to. Maybe then I wouldn't have to sign them up for the Good Parents Make Great Kids newsletter. Mom and Dad believe in free-range parenting, which is good for our chickens, but not for my siblings. As well as their generally casual approach to parenting, Mom and Dad didn't seem to give much thought into naming their kids. I guess Allegra is slightly better than Willow, but weirdly the name suits her. I don't know what name would suit me, but it is definitely not Allegra. 50 babies born in England last year were named Allegra, which is 50 too many if you ask me. Thank goodness everybody calls me Allie. Well, everyone except Max, because he knows that I hate being called Allegra. I asked Mom what on earth they were thinking when they gave me that name. Allegra is a gorgeous name, Allie, she said, looking offended. It was always top of our list, wasn't it, Angus? I dread to think what else was on that list. Mom takes it personally that I don't love my name, even though I'm the one who stuck with it. I pointed that out that she and Dad mostly call me Allie, except when they're annoyed with me, and then they call me by my full name, Allegra Iris Greenwood, like when I won't play with my sister. I wonder if anyone ever got a restraining order against a 6-year-old. Allegra's the name of an allergy medicine, Max said. Side effects include being annoying, boring, and stupid. Actually, the name means joyful, Mom said. Max snorted. I think I might be allergic to my brother, and there's no medicine for that. Anyway, Allie, Mom said, ignoring Max, we wanted to give you a beautiful and unusual name. There were so many Emmas in my class that at least 5 people answered whenever the teacher said Emma, so I had to be called Emma V. Only one of us got to be just Emma, but she ended up being called just Emma, so I guess Emma V was probably better. Allegra is unusual, Dad said. Just not beautiful, said Max, smirking. It really suits you, Allegra. Shut up, Maximilian Constantine, I said, which wiped the annoying smirk off his face. He hates being called Maximilian, especially if I add his middle name. You shut up. You suck. You suck more. I punched his arm. Idiot. He kicked my leg. Loser. Mom rolled her eyes. She always says that we'll grow out of our bickering eventually and become great friends. We won't. All right, chapter 2 is from Sage's perspective, and I'm not going to read it to you, but if you want to meet that second character in this super fun novel, House Swap, you should totally pick up a copy from your school library, purchase it from your favorite local bookstore, or grab it via the link down there in the description box. Thanks so much for being here for this first Chapter Friday video. I hope you'll come back for another one. Happy reading! To find out what happens next, you should totally pick up your own copy and continue reading The House Swap by Yvette Clark. But before you go, be sure to check out the rest of the First Chapter Friday playlist. I've got more than 140 novels waiting for you to check out. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd. Please like this video and subscribe. Then check out these other places for more great content from me, Amanda Zieba, the Word Nerd. I'll see you again next time. Happy reading.